Hi, everybody, from FirstEnergy Stadium. There is no playoff spot yet for the Cleveland Browns. It did not happen on this day. They lose to the New York Jets, who pick up their second win of the season and their second win in a row, but at the expense of the Browns, 23-16. The Browns, of course, came into the game limping on their active roster as they were wiped out because of COVID-19 and COVID-19 protocols that kept all of their frontline wide receivers out of the game. 2 linebackers out of the game. Their left tackle was ill and did not play in the game, and the Browns were struggling all day long. And it led to a day where they just couldn't move the football. But you felt that the Browns would rely on their running game. There was no running game on this Sunday. They jumped ahead in the game 3-0 on a 44-yard field goal by Cody Parkey, but then the Jets got rolling. With nothing to lose at all, they threw a trick play on an option pass by wide receiver Jamison Crowder to Braxton Berrios, 43 yards, and they were ahead. And then the problems really started. Mayfield could not stand in the pocket. The offensive line was leaking, and he was fumbling. 3 fumbles on the day, all of them costly, the second one leading to a New York Jets touchdown and a bigger lead. And then, in the third quarter, a bigger lead for the Jets, who raced out to a 17-point lead. But the Browns came firing back, and Mayfield started to look more comfortable to throwing to receivers who he had never played with before. And suddenly, the lead looked to be down to 3, and then Cody Parkey had a big miss of an extra point that kept the margin at 4. And even if the Browns are victorious next Sunday and beat the Steelers and get into the playoffs, you have to worry about the mental state of their kicker, Cody Parkey. He's been missing in these important games, and he's been missing the last 3 weeks, and that's a problem if you make it to the postseason at all. It's a big problem next Sunday if you need a kick to win the game over Pittsburgh. So the Browns were down by 4, had the ball a couple of times. Mayfield fumbled again. Strip sacked in the pocket, led to a Jets field goal that widened the lead to 7, needing a touchdown, but driving down near the 15-yard line of the Jets, 4th down and inches with plenty of time, over a minute, and the Browns still in plenty of good shape to try and tie the game up with a touchdown. On 4th down, Mayfield tried to sneak the ball. He had been successful twice before this, but he fumbled. It was recovered by Kareem Hunt. Inside 2 minutes, late in the game like that, you cannot recover the fumble with another player recovering it other than the guy who fumbled the ball. The ball went over to the Jets. Game over. Desperation now for the Browns. They must win next Sunday against the Steelers to make it into the playoffs. Here's the key. First key is they have to get these players back. They need their wide receivers back, and they need a better, stronger offensive line. Hopes that might happen. Can Jedrick Wills come back? Can Wyatt Teller come back? Then the Browns are up to snuff offensively the way they have been through the 10 wins that they've mustered so far this season. If not, Mayfield did not look comfortable behind that offensive line all game long. So the situation is desperate. It seemed as though it was going to be a cruise into the playoffs, but nothing is easy for the Browns. Who would have ever thought what happened on Saturday, the roster getting wiped out, would happen to the Browns before a game against a team, at least going in, only had 1 win on the season? But that's what happened. So it's a lot tougher now. They have to beat the Steelers, who have already wrapped up the AFC North, and you wonder, will they play their starters next week here in Cleveland? Who knows? That's a question mark. But keep your eye on the active roster for the Browns as the week goes along. Will those wide receivers, linebackers, and hopefully offensive linemen get back and be ready to play against the Steelers as they face their biggest must-win situation since they've returned to the NFL? A disappointing Sunday, no doubt about it. But we wait another week to see if the Browns finally end the drought and make it into the playoffs. It will take a win over the Steelers to do it. Nothing else has to happen. They have to beat the Steelers next Sunday back at home. From MetLife Stadium, a win over the Giants on Sunday night, a loss to the Jets on Sunday afternoon. So they split in New York. If they had beaten the Jets, they would have punched their ticket to the playoffs with the Colts losing to the Steelers. Maybe next week. Jets win 23-16. Let me just repeat that because it's unbelievable to hear. The Jets win for their second win of the season at the expense of the Browns. I'm Jim Donovan, WKYC.com.